threat of disaster is never pleasant.
Welcome to the Casual Preppers podcast.
These safety measures are essential.
The only place for prepping, survival, and entertainment.
This will be your source of survival instructions and information. Every member of the family must be coached in the business of survival.
Here are your hosts, Cam and Kobe.
Well, hello.
Back at it.
Yes, indeed.
Back to basics.
Yeah. Hopefully you guys are getting something out of this.
I hope you are too.
Because it's helping me.
Hey.
I'm realizing I forgot a lot of things.
Me too, man. I think it's a really good thing we're doing here. Yeah. I think we're helping people.
I think so too.
For sure, yeah. So what are we doing today, Cameron?
Yeah, so it's episode 228, and today we're going back to the basics again.
For sure.
But this one is specifically about power and energy.
Yeah.
Gonna take the power back.
Power to the preppers.
Yeah, power
right?
to the preppers.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, this is probably one of my favorite topics. I
You
love
like it.
power, man.
You do.
I love
You're all
battery
about
packs, charging stuff. My favorite.
Electricity.
But you don't realize how much you rely on energy until the power goes out, and you're like, I don't know what to do with myself.
This is not good.
So it's super important to have a backup power plan, and we're going to talk about all the energy sources and how you do it and what's best, and hopefully get you ready for that power outage.
Yeah, we're excited about that, but we're also excited about Battlebox because it's the monthly subscription box full of solid gear for adventure seekers, survivalists, outdoor enthusiasts, and casual preppers. Each month, Battlebox sends you the coolest selection of hand-picked outdoor survival and everyday carry gear, all valued at far more than what you normally pay. You never know what's in the next box, but here's a sampling of what users received this month. The Mosquito Repellent Tiny Repeller by Flex Tail Gear.
It's
got a
really
little,
nice, man. It's
got
like a
a
romantic.
It's got a lantern on it. We can keep that rolling the whole time if you want.
I'm going to.
It'd be kind of fun.
I'm going to.
And then there's also the Koala Tree Duffel Bag. Nice little duffel bag. All this badassness starts at just $34.99 per month. They've shipped over 1 million boxes and won Best Subscription Box of 2020. Our listeners get 15% off when you sign up at battlebox.com/casualpreppers. Get your first Battlebox and 15% off at battlebox.com/casualpreppers.
So good.
Yeah,
so good.
We're going to talk about the latest Battlebox here at the end of the show, so we're excited about that, right?
Yeah.
So, energy, power. These things are very, very important, but why are they important? We've got to talk about that first, because you always have to have a why behind the things you're doing, right, Cam? You should. Sometimes you just do it because you don't know.
A lot of people don't have that.
No. But one of the biggest things that we talk about in survival and preparedness is communication and staying connected, especially during these emergencies, SHTF scenarios. So keeping essential devices like radios and communication gear running, it helps you stay informed during emergencies and connected to others. So very important.
Yeah.
Because information is key, right? And you can't get that information if you don't have power most of the time. Some sort of power.
Right.
Whatever that is. So this is very, very critical in your preparedness plan. And then in some cases, like medical devices, it's not like helpful. It's life-saving.
Right.
Like you have to have it, right? And so very, very critical for those types of things.
A lot of people on oxygen.
There's a ton, yeah. Cooking, heating, refrigeration. And access to power allows you to cook food safely, heat your home during the winter, and keep perishable food and medications from spoiling. So obviously very important things.
Very important.
We've talked about it a million times, but if there's ever going to be a long-term power outage, it's either going to be in the middle of summer or the middle of winter. It's never going to be when it's 70 degrees
like
all the time.
Perfect September weather. Like, this is nice.
Not going to happen, right? So obviously without those things, survival becomes much harder, especially when you're in extreme climates, like we just said. And that's how it is here in Utah. It's almost always either freezing cold or a million degrees.
Super extreme all the time.
Yeah, we're always at the extremes. I mean, there's a few months where it's pretty nice, but
a few days.
Yeah, there's like 3 days in the spring, 3 days in the fall. Yeah. So you got a week of great weather.
Why do I live here?
Comfort and morale. Light plays a huge role in our mental well-being.
Yeah.
If you did not know. Living in complete darkness, especially over several days, can take a serious toll. Like, huge toll on people.
And they've planning on just living in a bunker with no lights on, Ain't
not going to
happen.
work. And they've done study after study that that's not good for you. Your body does not enjoy it.
Your brain
at
hates
all.
it.
Your brain does not, yeah. Even a small source of light can help maintain a sense of normalcy and security during emergency events and chaotic times. So very, very important to have power in lots of different emergency events. But the problem is, like, how much do you need? That's where it gets really hard for me
does.
is understanding what is my consumption and what is the consumption of kind of the basic stuff that I have to get by, which is and that's kind of the thing you need to look at first, right? So here's a quick basic daily consumption breakdown for several things that you can start to look at. So if you have lights, especially if you're looking at LED lights, 5 to 20 watts, kind of depending on the size or the type of the light.
So every one of them on at all times
At all
in my
times.
house.
100%. Yes, that's how
I can calculate that because I know what we're using every day.
I get so frustrated, and my wife's just like, it doesn't matter. I'm like, it does. It does matter. It matters to me.
Yeah.
Okay? Turn off the lights. It's not hard. Small appliances. This is like fans or like chargers of some sort. You're going to be like 15 to 50 watts-ish. I know you run fans a lot on those types of things,
Unfortunately.
right? So you kind of, you understand what that consumption
Yeah.
looks like.
I got to stay cool.
Gotta stay
Need that
cool.
air circulating and like that nice
noise.
little white noise.
White
man.
noise, baby. And
I've trained my brain poorly and my kids.
we have white noise
love
at
a
night
nice
too.
little fan noise.
Yeah. We don't use, well, I mean, we have a fan going, but my wife uses noise on her phone.
But yeah, it feels so much better when air's moving across you.
I agree.
Like I hate when that's why I hate hotels. If
Yeah.
I go in there and I can't control the thermostat, I'm like, we're checking out.
Never mind.
We're not staying here.
I have to have cool air. I have the window open all year
Yeah.
in my room.
Yeah.
It gets chilly.
Yeah, our house is just freaking frigid all the time anyway.
Yeah. Larger appliances, this is like fridges or space heaters. This is such a huge wide swath of wattage usage, but anywhere from 100 to 1500 watts depending on what it is.
Yeah.
That's a lot. You can get
It
up
is
to
a
a
lot.
lot of wattage. Cam's much better at understanding this than I am. I don't get it.
I bought a bunch of little smart outlets so that I could like plug in different things and see how much usage and everything.
Yeah.
It's a lot.
Is it a lot?
I found out,
Yeah.
We use a lot of power.
Yeah, for sure. And then radios and communication devices, those are relatively low watt usage, anywhere from 5 to 15 watts to make those things go. But those are very important. So you can kind of look at that and see how much am I going to need to get through a typical day. And then you can also look at what is essential versus what is non-essential for your power needs. And this obviously it's a big deal to try and figure out what that is.
Yep.
But when we look at things that are essential, we talked about lighting. You have to have light in some way, shape, or form. So you have to have lighting. You have to have communication devices because you need that information. Basic heating, maybe it's a heated blanket or a small little space heater or something like that.
Yeah.
But you could also get something like a Mr. Buddy that just uses propane or whatever. So you have
That's
to
why you're
decide
going to have to like close those areas down.
Yeah.
When you're
exactly
using this.
You
kind
can't heat your whole house that way in one of these emergency situations. Refrigeration, and that's if it's critical for things like medications and perishable food. Obviously, you want those things to keep rolling if you can. And then medical devices. Have you seen maybe you were the one that talked to me about
that
BioLite's
big, huge like battery pack that's like sits on the wall.
You can stick it like behind your fridge and it'll run your fridge for several days, I think.
Yeah,
or
so
something.
nice. And it just kicks on.
Kicks right on. It's something I want to look at.
I would love to
They're
have
not
that.
cheap, but it'd be cool to have.
It'd be way cool.
And I love the fact that they're behind a fridge and
they're
on
slim
a wall.
instead
They're
of
slim.
like this big, huge,
out in your backyard or something.
Right.
Takes up half the backyard. Yep. So those are kind of the essential things you need to look at, and medical devices, like I said. Non-essential things, and I say non-essential, but sometimes this can be essential. We'll have to, parse that out in, situation by situation. But entertainment, electronics, so, iPads and Game Boys and Sega Genesis and Nintendo 64.
Yeah.
What other
Neo Geo,
Dreamcast. That's what I was trying to come up with. Dreamcast. Those are not necessarily essential, but when you have kids, maybe it is. So you have to consider that, right? Unnecessary lighting. You don't have to have every light on in the house when this thing is happening. And may I suggest looking at the BioLite Solar Home 620 for this situation, because it comes with several lights.
That's a good idea.
Self-contained. It can run it's solar. It's so fantastic.
Yeah. Well, I've gone back and forth about, you can get like those generators that plug right into your house.
Yeah,
or
for sure.
they're already connected to your house. Or having a way to like, yeah. Anyways, I'm like, in a way, they're going to turn everything on if it's that way. So I'm like, maybe I don't want it.
I know, maybe
just run a
not.
few extension cords. It's like, this is all you get.
Yeah, we're going to do whatever is essential.
So whatever works for you.
Yeah, so anyways, unnecessary lighting, non-critical large appliances like TVs or gaming consoles. So we're going hard on the gaming consoles. Sorry about that.
Sounds like my wife's doing this
MetaQuest ain't working. So
no games.
No games.
First things first.
That's first thing we lose. Or you lose your life, boy.
You're dumb.
Yes, not necessary. Sometimes it is. Sometimes it is.
For my boys and keeping them like when they get bored, it's like you might want to sacrifice some of that power to allow them to get out of your hair.
So when you're calculating your energy needs, it's really important to consider not only what devices, but how long you're going to have to run them each day.
Yeah.
Right? That's something you have to consider.
It's tough.
Oh, yeah. I don't
calculating that. I mean, it's not hard to calculate, but
you have to
really need to know, how much what uses how much power and how long you're going to run it.
Yeah, and so when you're doing that, that's a good way to determine the size of your backup power solution that you're going to use, like solar generators or power packs and battery packs. We're going to talk about those later, but so prioritizing essential energy use during an emergency ensures that you're conserving power for survival needs while still maintaining some level of comfort. So this isn't one or the other. I think you have to make a choice there, like where's my line of comfort and survival, because and then also how long is this going to last and how long can I keep the power going? So very important to start to figure out.
Yeah, super important. And I think power gives us a lot of comfort, right?
Bro, yes, like
and
huge.
I think you had said one of the statistics, like the most common power outage has extended from like 3 days to 5 days now.
Yeah, it's getting crazy.
Which is a
per
lot
year.
longer.
Yeah, exactly.
So, sources of backup power. This is where, this is good. Get into the nitty gritty.
Oh, sure.
Portable power packs. So battery banks. I feel like I want one of these every time. Every day I see a deal, I'm like, probably get another battery power pack.
Yeah, I know.
But they're super practical. You can toss them in a bag. You can put them in your car. A lot of them have like sometimes even a built-in solar panel on them.
Yeah.
But it's nice because you can just plug in devices and you don't have to be running a generator. You don't have to be plugged into the power grid or anything like that because it's stored energy. Super nice. They're relatively cheap. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of different brands out there.
There's so many.
I like Anchor. I like Ugreen. Those are some of the main ones I go for. But
I love the dark energy ones that we've got.
That one's been, I use that one quite a bit. Yeah.
So like the one that like clips right to the back.
The MagSafe ones are so nice.
So beautiful.
Because it's like you could just keep using your phone as you normally would, and you put that pack that magnetizes to the back and it wirelessly charges it.
We have that Survival Frog one we've had for a long time too that has the wireless charging on it.
Yep.
Beautiful.
Yeah, that
Great
one's
stuff.
awesome. Because you just set it in the console like in your car and you just sit and charge.
Yeah. They've saved my bacon more than once, like going out of town on a trip and I forget my phone charger.
But just cords, man.
I know.
It's like in the hotel, you'll always forget one. If you take it in and plug it in, you'll probably leave one.
100%.
And then it's like, where is the outlet?
Exactly.
It's underneath the bed frame.
Oh, they're getting better now. Like a lot of times they're starting to put them like on
the lamp, right?
The lamp and stuff. So like
but
that's beautiful.
There's some of those hotels.
You go to the old ones and like
they got one that's under the bed,
or it's in the bathroom or something. Yeah. It's like,
so it's nice to have these for that.
Yeah.
Power stations. So I just recently purchased another one. I have 3. One of them's like a 300 watt hour and then a 700, and then the recent one was 1,000.
I don't even know what mine is.
It's a 500 and something.
The
or
Rock
6.
Pals?
No, I think it's more than that. Isn't it like a 6 or 7?
I don't know. I got to look, man.
It's a nice one. But yeah, so these are nice because they pack a lot of energy in them. I mean, they're, like I was saying, like 3 to 1,000 or more watt hours. And which is really nice if you're running fans and charging devices. Like you can charge a laptop 10 times over with one of these things. It's super nice. And they're built with handles and everything, so they're easy to throw in the back of a car or take with you. And 3 different brands that I've used and I've liked. Rock Pals, 4 different brands, I guess. Rock Pals, EcoFlow, DJI, because there's a ton of them. I'm always fearful that it's going to start on fire if it's some generic Chinese brand, you know. And a lot of these are built in China.
And there's so many of them.
There's so many.
There's a million.
Yeah.
Go
So
on
you-
Amazon.
You need
You'll
to
see.
do some research. I went with DJI because it's like, man, they know how to build.
And they're brand new into the game, right?
They are. But super nice features. It's super quiet when it's charging, and it's got a max output of like 4,400 watts, which is crazy.
That's crazy.
Like you could kick on
like a fridge or something, right?
fridge or it's just. I mean, you could run an AC unit with one of these.
Wow, that's crazy.
So
yeah, I mean, I'd stick with the ones that you know are kind of the brands.
yeah, Jackery's been around a long time. Rock Pals has been great. I have one. Kobe has one. I've not had issues with them. EcoFlow is a big brand that's coming. They come out with stuff all the time.
Yeah.
BioLite has new ones. I
Goal
really
Zero.
want those.
Goal
Yeah,
Zero.
Goal
are
Zero.
great. So like, just stick with those.
I would stick with brands, honestly. I would pay more and go with a nicer one. But these are nice because they have multiple outlets. You can charge like multiple devices. They have USB-C, USB-A. They're just great. So, and the nice thing is they can be run indoors without any exhaust.
That's
Like,
great.
That's the nicest thing about them. And then you go to your basic generators. So there's gas power generators, super reliable. They can put a lot more wattage out, which is nice. You can get ones up to 8,000 to 10,000 watts, which is really sweet. I would like a nice one. I have a small, like 2,200 watt one that I use when I go camping.
My dad's got one he keeps trying to give me. I just need to take it from him. He's got like a little Yamaha, like 5,000.
Yeah, it'd be great.
I'm like, I just need to get it. And take, he's like, I got like 6 of them.
It's like you just run an extension cord into your house, it powers out, and
good to go.
Run most of the things
but
you
then
need.
you got to get fuel.
Yeah.
You got to have the fuel,
That's
right?
the downside to them.
Yeah.
Carbon monoxide is one. You can't run it indoors. It has to be outside. Sadly, people found out the hard way.
Yeah.
And then the other thing is you've got to rely on having stored fuel, or there's a possibility you're not going to be able to get the fuel that you need for it.
Yeah, if it's a power outage, I assume that it's a power outage everywhere.
Toast.
Maybe it's not,
Right.
but it could be.
Yeah, exactly. And the other, like, when you're getting or looking at generators, there's dual fuel generators, which are really nice. So you can use gasoline, natural gas, propane, which makes it super convenient.
Yeah.
And that's probably the way if you're looking at something. I mean, get one. Don't get into like all the deals. It'd be nice to just have one, but if you're looking at one now and spending a little more money, look at the propane, gasoline, natural gas, tri-fuel.
You could even
ones.
set it up where you have a connection on the outside of your home and you're getting it from the natural
Exactly.
gas lines.
Yeah,
Beautiful.
it's so cool.
Yeah.
And then you have your solar generators. Now these, like, not super confusing. They're just portable power stations, but they charge by solar power. So almost all the ones that I have, I think all of them do have a port where you can plug in solar panels, which makes it like the ultimate, right?
I guess it makes it a solar generator at that point.
It does.
Right?
Yeah. It's kind of weird. I was looking at that. I'm like, is there any specifically? The thing is, a portable or not all portable power stations have a regulator in them, so that's like the solar power has to be converted and all that. But most of them do. They usually will say on there that they have a port for panels, and so you can pick it up.
And the panels are also different to understand too.
Yeah,
So crazy.
They are. I just make it simple. Go with the monopolycarbon, or what is it? Crystalline or something like that.
But then they're different wattage, right?
They are, yes.
Every
There's
one
like
of those.
100 watt, 120.
So I think I have 100 watt.
optimally, you get like 80% of that.
Yeah, well, I don't think it's even that,
It's
is
like
it? I don't know.
60%. But like in terms of portability, quality, like monocrystalline, I think is the best overall. It's more expensive though.
Yeah, I've got some for my rock pals. I
And
think they're
they're
rock
mono.
pals.
They're mono.
Yeah, and I
'Cause
think they're
there's
100
poly.
waters. Man, you've used them
I
more
might
than
be
I have at this
butchering
point.
these words, but they're 160 watt.
Yeah,
So
it's not bad.
they actually do pretty good. Yeah. But it takes forever. Don't rely on the solar like recharging to be your main way of charging those things. But yeah, solar generators are super nice because you can convert sun into energy, and you know, while you're not using it or you're using another generator, they can be sitting out
We're
in
going to
your
talk
yard
more.
charging.
We're going to talk more about solar in a minute.
Cool.
So.
And then it's quiet, clean, and the fuel's free.
Yeah,
super nice.
Yep.
And then there's alternative power sources. Hand crank, you can crank all day long
For sure.
Charge all kinds of different devices: radios, flashlights, phones. And then there's pedal power. Like they have some really cool systems that you can buy. I've actually wanted like a pedal power.
Be cool. Yeah.
Just sit there and charge things. And then they have like water lily, which makes a turbine that can be charging devices by wind or water. You can
Very
use the
cool.
same turbine and throw it in the water, or put little.
We could even add in BioLite to this. Where
That's
it's,
true.
Where it's fire heat basically.
Oh, that's true.
To power.
Yeah, I didn't even
with like
think about that.
the camp stove too.
Yeah, that's insane.
It's so cool.
Transfers heat and charges the batteries. Cool.
And it's great to have.
Anyways,
more
there's a
than
lot
one.
of different sources, and I would have multiple. Like I do have
Exactly.
multiple because it's really convenient to do it.
I agree. You know what else is convenient? Electrolytes.
Oh, indeed.
You gotta have them because if you didn't know, electrolyte deficiency or imbalances, they can cause headaches, cramps, fatigue, and weakness. And it's people who want to be prepared and ready for anything. The last thing you need is something that will slow you down when you need to be ready the most. That's why we at Casual Preppers have teamed up with Element. It is a tasty electrolyte drink mix with everything you need and nothing that you don't. We think Element is perfect for bug-out bags and EDC kits because it contains a science-backed electrolyte ratio. 1,000 milligrams of sodium, 200 milligrams of potassium, 60 mgs of magnesium. Just like that little...
all right there.
Is perfect, right? And Casual Preppers listeners can get a free Element sample pack when you make any drink mix purchase through our exclusive Casual Preppers link. That is one packet of every flavor. You can try them all. The cool thing is you can do it every single time you order. You guys just use our link. And that is drinklmnt.com/casual preppers. You're going to get your order and your free sample pack with any purchase. These things are so fantastic. They're so handy to have. Sometimes water isn't enough, especially if you're working out a lot.
Yeah.
Like I don't go to jiu-jitsu without an Element. Like I always have it because I know I'm losing so much when I'm sweating that I have to have more than just water.
Yeah.
So anyways, and it's clean. It's good stuff. Tastes delicious.
Body's so healthy. Just needs so much.
Oh gosh, yeah. All right, so let's go back to talk about solar because there's some things we need to discuss here. And let's talk about why it really is a smart choice for preparedness. The number one thing is it's silent. Right? Gas power generators, a lot of them are very loud. There are some that are like whisper quiet. They're not whisper quiet. You can still hear them, but some of them are very
Hondas
very
are really
loud.
quiet, but they still like
some of the Yamahas.
Have you ever been
are
camping when somebody's running it all night long? It sucks.
You can always hear it. And so that is the good thing about solar is that you're not going to make a noise profile. Nobody's going to hear it. And so that is a huge plus when it comes to preparedness. It's a renewable energy source as long as the sun is shining. And if the sun isn't shining, then you have a problem, probably. I mean, but obviously you have to worry about clouds and things like that. But it's a renewable energy source. You don't have to purchase anything else. Once you've got it going, you just put that thing out in the sun and you have more power, right? Cool. And you don't have to store anything other than having this device. They're very low maintenance solar panels. You don't really have to do much to them. They just keep rolling. You don't have to have like fuel stabilizers and all this other stuff to keep this thing going. It's a pain in the ass, right?
Yeah, it is.
It's something you can think about. And it's also great for bugging out. Solar, it's great for bugging out because a lot of times when you're bugging out, you're just trying to keep a couple small devices going, whether that's your phone or a radio or a little light. And these little solar batteries are perfect to keep those things going. You don't want to have to haul a gas generator with you on a bug out if you don't have to. I mean, you can if you're in a truck and all that kind of thing, but if you're on foot, not gonna happen.
There's still a limit. You can't carry all that
Still
fuel.
limit. Exactly. There are some drawbacks to solar, though, that we do have to talk about, and they are weather dependent. If it's very, very cloudy, if it storms, if it's nighttime, you're not going to get your power that you need at those points.
Yeah.
Your initial cost is kind of more pricey than the other ones, but I think it's worth the extra penny there at the beginning. Larger setups will take a lot of space because those...
You got to charge your entire home for days on end.
You got to have lots of stuff going on there to make that work. They're slow charging. It's not going to be something that's really quick.
Very slow.
It's going to be like a trickle charge most of the time. So you have to account for that when you're looking at it. It's going to take more time. So there are different types, like Cam has said. There's the portable solar panels, like we were talking about. These you can use in a bug out situation, but you can also just throw them in the back of the backyard, get your sun.
Yeah,
and
they're
charge
nice.
there.
They fold into like a little what is it, 12 to 14 inch square.
Little handle on them usually.
Yeah,
Pretty
nice.
easy to do.
Probably 20, 30 inches.
There's the fixed solar panel, and this is usually when it's like mounted to your roof or something, or on some other sort of thing. They're bigger, but you're going to get more power with those things because they're just more surface area.
Yeah.
That's the whole thing with those. You got to have more surface area.
Yeah, that BioLite 620, that solar panel's been out for 5 years. I haven't had any issues.
Still rolling,
Continues
right?
to charge. Yeah,
It's probably never died in.
No.
On you, has it?
never.
So
It's
awesome.
always
You have it out in your shed.
Yep.
Correct.
It's nice.
Yeah. Oh, dude, it's one of the greatest devices for preparedness. I don't care what anyone says.
3 lights, and you got 4 lights.
4
You get
lights.
Your battery powered thing and a radio.
And a radio.
it's so nice. It's got USB charge ports.
Well, and it's got the cables that you can run those lights
They're so
all over the
long,
house.
like, for like 6 miles. I swear,
Exactly.
there's a lot of
They
cable.
go forever. And then, the solar power generator, we always kind of talked about that. So, whether you're charging basic electronics, you're running larger appliances, having a solid understanding of your solar setup could get you through some of those long emergencies with little hassle.
Yeah.
Think about that.
That's exactly right.
Mm-hmm.
So storing energy for later use. I'll go through this fairly quick, but the battery storage, so battery types.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, if you want the best of the best and spend the money, just get lithium ion.
That's
like
the top.
It's
grade.
lightweight, it stores longer, it has more charges, like more cycles. It's going to be the better battery source.
And batteries are getting better every year.
They are.
Man.
They are. Like
the technology is getting
I think
better
there's going
and
to be
better.
some big breakthroughs.
Yeah.
You're going to get a ton of power
Very soon.
Yeah. So, but generally, that's the thing is like if you're storing batteries, lithium ion stores the longest.
Yeah.
And it's reusable the longest. Like you get, like I said, like 1,000 to 5,000 charge cycles versus 500.
Yeah.
Cons, it's pricey. They don't make it in some of those weird battery sizes like the C and the D and stuff like that. And if you're to put like a lithium ion in your car, your RV or something like that, you have to use a different power charging source, like a converter.
Yeah.
Because I was going to put one in the RV because they're like, these work great and they last longer, but the charging system that's in this old beast doesn't work. It
That
won't
makes sense.
charge from the engine to, you have to get a new thing. So there's more cost involved.
Makes
but
sense.
it's the better long-term solution. Then you have your alkaline batteries. That's just your common AA, AAA that you see in the store.
Yeah.
They're great though. They're cheap. They store well. Like 5 to 10 years, they're still good. And you just leave them. And I'll talk about the storage anyway. But you just put them, buy a few packs and just leave them in that and store them away.
Yeah.
Downsides, they could leak. They're heavier, and for high drain devices, I mean, it sucks them dry.
It does quickly.
So then lead acid, nickel cadmium, like they don't use them very much.
No.
So I won't even worry about them. Lead acid are usually what's in your car.
Yeah.
The rechargeable types, again, lithium is best because a lot more power cycles, a lot more charge cycles, and they don't lose power when stored. That's the other thing is like nickel and all those, they slowly kind of lose their oomph.
Yep.
And then the other thing is the best brands that I got real nerdy about this, and I did some research and watched a bunch of videos. Surprisingly, it was like IKEA's rechargeables were some of the best. Energizer and Duracell obviously are good.
Yeah.
And then Amazon.
I've actually had really good
That's what
luck
I use a lot of Amazon batteries.
with their batteries.
yeah, their regular ones and their rechargeables have been great. So
We got those rechargeables from Battlebox a while ago.
I never did use those.
I've been using them. They
What are they purple? No, blue something.
Pale blue
Pale
is
blue.
what they're called. I love the pack that we got. I love the way they charge. There's USB-C on the battery.
On the battery, right?
On the battery.
So you don't have to use the charger.
Fantastic. They don't last as long as normal batteries. You have to know that.
Yeah.
But just the other conveniences,
All
I
the
think they're worth it.
rechargeables aren't going to give you the
They're not
same
going to.
duration,
Yeah.
but you just
But I
charge it back
love
up.
them. I love them. They're great. They're worth looking at. I
Yeah,
think.
that's awesome. Storing your batteries. A lot of people, it's crazy how many people are like, just put them in a bag and freeze them. That's the worst thing to do for a battery.
Freeze them.
Yeah,
Interesting.
because you're just like they're like, oh, you're slowing the chemical reaction,
Yeah.
so they're not going to break down and lose their charge. Actually, it's more damaging.
Haven't
to
you
them.
ever seen when it gets cold outside, your car has
Yeah.
a harder time with
Ask
charge?
Tesla if that's a good idea.
Yeah, exactly.
Don't freeze them because also it creates condensation inside the battery, and it's
Oh,
just
yeah.
going to cause it to go bad faster or start leaking.
Interesting. Yeah.
Avoid storing them positive to negative.
Sure. Yeah.
So most of the time, just buy the package and leave them in their original packing.
don't let them bump uglies.
Don't
is what you're
touch
saying.
stuff. They get chemistry happening between them.
Yeah.
And things go bad. 9 volts, obviously, you cover the ends.
Yeah.
And then store rechargeables at about 40 to 55% charge is best.
Sure.
Wouldn't worry too much
I
about
never
it.
worry
Just
about
buy
it.
it and store it.
It's so funny.
Do it yourself. I know. Like,
I don't have that in me. I just like, it is what it is. Where it's at is where it's at.
All the like engineers
Yeah.
are like, what are you doing? You're wasting this
Can't
battery.
charge your
I'm
phone
like,
all the way.
I'll just buy some tomorrow.
I know. It's like, there's people are like, you can't charge your phone that much.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Yes,
I don't have that kind of time in my
Same
life.
here.
You know what I mean? I
That's
just
funny.
charge
The battery, the phone battery. I'm like, I don't care. It's
No.
easy to just stick it on my nightstand and let it charge all the way to 100%.
The battery, that's what my grandpa says. Battery.
Battery.
It's in the jockey box.
The battery.
I got a battery in the jockey
Yeah,
box.
The jockey box.
Next
I
to
still
the
say
aspirin.
Jockey box.
Yeah.
Do-it-yourself battery banks.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
this is a huge rabbit hole.
Oh, yeah.
If you own an RV, you probably know a lot about this because I had to replace my batteries.
Mm-hmm.
The deep cycle 6 volts that you can tie together, like that's probably the best. You could do 12 volt too, but 6 volt, they're bigger. They have bigger cells. They're a little more durable. So that's I would just leave it at that. Like look at deep cycle batteries, big 6 volts.
Yeah.
Are the ones to look at.
Okay.
And there's different chargers, trickle chargers. You're going to need a converter or an inverter and possibly a converter too. It is a headache, huge headache.
I looked into this a little bit when I first got my truck when I was really going to deck it out for like overlanding because a lot of guys do that. They'll,
Yeah. Lighting is all coming not off from your car battery, right?
It's coming from other stuff. But it's like, it's a pain in the ass.
It is a huge headache.
Oh, man.
So if you're into it and you can do some amazing things with this, but you're going to need a lot of time.
Yeah.
So I'm just saying it's possible to, daisy chain a bunch of batteries together and power a ton of stuff.
For sure. No doubt. Just a couple of quick things about managing your power use. We kind of already talked about prioritization when it comes to what you're doing, right? Communication, lighting, medical things. Those are the number one. But again, it depends on the emergency. It depends on what the outlook is. If it's going to be a day or whatever, and you know that, then I'd say use your power and keep those devices rolling for your kids, right?
Exactly.
So you have to look at that per emergency. One of the things you can do, though, is look at load management. A lot of people will use like power strips with that on and off switch. Yeah, baby. You're going to manage that load, aren't you? So you can easily control what's drawing power.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because a lot of times there are those things that you don't think they're drawing power and they are.
It's
even
crazy
when they're
how many
plugged
things will, especially if you own an RV. Everything's sucking power out of that.
So if you use power strips, you can just turn the power strip off and then you know that it's not,
I like that
doing
because
that.
it's crazy what things automatically just suck power from you.
Yeah, and if you're using solar generators or whatever, schedule your like super power intensive tasks during the middle of the day when you know you're going to have more power available with, solar and all that stuff. And then spread those things out too if you can, so you're not sucking power all at once, and that's a bad deal. You can do some energy efficiency things like replace all your bulbs with LED, which pretty much everybody has at this point anyway.
And you still replace them every 6 months.
Yeah, they don't last any longer than normal ones. I don't care what anyone says. They just don't.
But they're using a little less power.
They are using less power. You turn off the phantom loads,
Yeah.
Cam is your load of phantom. Like microwaves, gaming consoles, desktop computers, all those things are just sucking a little power all the time.
They all try to access the internet too. It's like they're always trying to like
my fridge, my
get
oven,
out of here.
Everything does at this point. My fridge, my oven, my dishwasher, all accessing Wi-Fi and
crazy.
Bluetooth and all that kind of stuff. So just a few things that you can look at to try and be as efficient as possible with your energy usage. One other thing I want to tell you about, though, is Mad Gear Co., because they are redefining preparedness with their contingency planner. It's a must-have tool for anyone serious about being ready. Whether it's a hurricane, a power outage, wildfire, or unexpected emergency, this planner is built to help you organize every detail of your plan. It's not just a notebook, it's a durable step-by-step guide for organizing your emergency plans. It really is. It's fantastic. From food storage to water supplies to communication strategies and evacuation routes, it ensures nothing is overlooked. Proudly 100% made in America, the Contingency Planner features tough, weather-resistant, right-in-the-rain paper that stands up to water, dirt, and the elements. And with Mad Gear Co. being family, a veteran-owned, you are supporting American craftsmanship and values. Be ready for whatever comes your way. Visit madgear.shop to grab your Contingency Planner today. Mad Gear Co. redefining preparedness for when SHTF. Use our code Casual Preppers, and you're going to get that sweet little discount.
That's awesome.
I think everybody should have one of these. Everybody on the face of the planet should have one.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay.
Because that is like inventory and writing things down and having a plan on paper.
Got to do it.
Got to do it. So, some mistakes to avoid and lessons to learn. Common mistakes, underestimating how much power you actually use and need. So, common thing, it's like retirement. You don't realize how much you're going to need.
You need a lot more than you think.
Yeah, a lot more than you think. Over reliance on one power source is also a mistake. Like, I'm just going to get a bunch of gas and I'll have gas generators. No.
Diversify.
Yep. Get some solar, get some battery packs. You need a lot of different options. And then this is the prepper way, man.
Yeah, man.
Disregarding noise, like generators produce noise all the time. If you're running them all night long, someone will probably sabotage your generator. And then price. If the price is low, the quality is likely low as well.
Sure.
There's a lot of them. And you'll probably start a fire that you didn't mean to in your basement with a yeah. And then the panel quality. Like if you're going to spend the money, monocrystalline, that's what it was, is a little bit better than polycrystalline. I noticed that Harbor Freight, they have a lot of panels and a lot of them are like polycrystalline or some other type.
So it's less efficient,
not
probably.
very efficient.
Makes sense.
But it's at least working. Yeah. Maybe. Not testing your systems. Batteries wear out fast. They might not hold a charge anymore. So you got to keep an eye on that stuff. Maintenance, not preparing for maintenance for your gas powered, your solar powered. Like you need to have tools and understand how to fix them because they're going to wear and tear. Solar doesn't last forever either. Yeah. So a home connection, like if you're wanting to power into your house, have good extension cords or have a nice like you'd have to have it installed so that you can power directly into your home. And there's just things to look at now ahead of time. And then power sources that are overlooked. You have your car. Yeah. And if you have ways to charge other devices from the car, like understand what an inverter does for that. And
if you have an electric vehicle, you might even be able to power your house.
Yeah, they do. They put out quite a bit of power. So and you just have a little adapter and you can tie it right into your house, which is pretty cool. And then some pro tips. Test your power system before you need it. Run a 24-hour no grid test at your home. See how long it goes. See where you're using power that you don't need to, how to cut, Then when power goes out, you know how to use the system. And then have redundancy in place. Like I said, multiple power sources. Yeah. Stockpile essential spare parts for those devices and those machines and the generators. And then don't let your kids near any of the battery power, or the backup power or batteries or flashlights. Yep. Because they'll all be dead. Yeah. When you need them.
100%. So just a few things to recap this. Make sure you have ways to produce power. Make sure you have ways to store it. Make sure you know how to manage all of that power and then diversify your power options. Those things that Cam just said, so very important. And then you can also look at planning for different scenarios, whether that's short-term or long-term, because you might approach those in very, very different ways. And like Cam said, do some sort of a power outage test. Turn off your home's power for, he said 24 hours, but do it for 4 hours. See, you know what I mean? Like, what kind of things do you need? Where are your weak points? Do you lack lighting, or is there insufficient power for cooking, or whatever that might be? Just do a test. 4 hours one day. Even if you want to wait till your family's gone and it's just you at home, you turn off the power and sit in the dark. Cry.
It's a great idea.
Yeah, it's a great idea. But anyways, just
we had power go out just recently, and I realized I didn't have. Like 3 of my power stations were all dead. I'm like, are you kidding me?
Yeah, it happens.
Gotta check on that stuff, man.
Got to. So, anyways, that is power.
I love it.
Energy.
Power.
I do want to tell you about Battlebox, though, because we got the latest one, Mission 119.
Oh, yeah.
Pretty exciting, right?
Light's still going for the.
I know. The first item in the basic box is the Grail X Earthwell Camp Pint. This is a cool little cup for camping. Yeah. Cute little fella.
stainless, man.
Yeah, it's
Or is
pretty
it
it's nice.
aluminum.
Yeah, and then we got the Total
Aluminium.
Outdoorsman 10th Anniversary Edition by Field and Stream. These fantastic books that are just so well put together.
They're easy. Like, they're not boring to read
Yeah.
because they have pictures in them.
I like pictures.
I like pictures.
Yeah. And then we got the Opinel number 8 carbon steel folding knife.
Yeah,
these things
are
awesome.
sweet. They're super sharp.
Yeah, and they're just cool little simple knives.
Yeah, you feel like a real
Yeah.
bushcraft master
Yeah,
when you
for
got
sure,
these in your
for sure.
pocket.
And then we got the advanced box with the tiny repeller by Flextail Gear, and that's this guy that's been sitting out here
yeah.
on the desk the whole time.
Man, it's pretty
Cool.
sweet little deal.
Yeah, very nice. And then the Pro Box, we got the Koala Tree duffel bag. It is a beautiful, beautiful duffel bag, and it can convert to a backpack, which is kind of cool.
Waterproof?
Yeah,
Looks
it's
like it.
waterproof as well. I
That's pretty
believe.
freaking cool.
Yeah. And then Pro Plus, the knife of the month is the Crowell Competition Knife. This is one of them knives that you can cut a whole bunch of water bottles. It's set up in a row.
Slice 'em real
Slice
quick,
them real
like-
good. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyways. that is-
Forged in fire
Yeah,
or whatever.
That's
that
what they are, yeah. Thank you guys so much for listening. We appreciate you. Make sure that you're subscribed. Make sure you go listen to This Podcast is a Secret as well. We're doing some fantastic stuff over there, and you're missing out if you ain't listening. We want you guys to stay survived. Keep coming back, because next week we're going to be talking about bug out bags. And that's exciting. Back to basics, right?
Indeed.
Awesome. Thanks, guys. Stay survived.